Welcome to Soul-Led Leadership. This is an interactive journey, so I look forward to connecting with you throughout this time together. I came across an old post that I'd made on Facebook yesterday, and I want to read it to you. This isn't my writing. This is David White, but you can close your eyes, you can have your eyes open, but really attune yourself to both receptivity, listening on a deeper level today, and attune yourself to that center inside of you that doesn't waver. And as we go through being here together today, we will alchemize that, process that. If you feel like you're arriving, not knowing where you are, feeling disconnected, let let the time together orient you back to yourself. You don't have to know how, but set the intention, be willing, be open to coming back to the center. The whole topic of soul-led leadership is, in fact, around the non-self behavior, having less and less of a hold so that you can really live from a place that is who you actually are, your authentic, embodied, natural self. When you are in the place of true self, in Ayurvedic medicine, we talk about this as your true nature. That is your alignment. That is where you will be healthiest, most vibrant, most energized. The world of socialization, the world of taking on other people's bullshit that's been passed down, essentially, fear, scarcity, lack. It just, this is how it goes here in this third dimension. It's not wrong, it's not bad. It's that we have to wake up and be smarter than it and step out of it, know that we have been given choice, we've been given free will, we've been given so much more than we actually utilize. But let us start with these words. So I invite you to close your eyes or just listen through your pores, listen through your heart, listen through all of your senses. When your eyes are tired, the world is tired also. When your vision has gone, no part of the world can find you. Time to go into the dark where the night has eyes to recognize its own. There you can be sure you are not beyond love. The dark will be your womb tonight. The night will give you a horizon further than you can see. You must learn one thing. The world was made to be free in. Give up all other worlds except the one to which you belong. Sometimes it takes darkness and the sweet confinement of your aloneness to learn anything or anyone that does not bring you alive is too small for you. David White, incredible poet. Yeah, it's very sensorial, right? When we really let that touch our soul, when we really go, oh my goodness, the darkness is not bad or wrong. I am not bad or wrong. There are gems, there are jewels in the struggles, in the challenges, and I get to decide the world that is too small for me. And I feel like I can safely say we've all been playing in a world too small for us. A world of fear, a world of lack, a world of performative confusion. We literally forget the power that we are, a soul. If we woke up every morning and remembered that we're not just a little human coming here to pay taxes and get up and sit in a cubicle from 9 to 5 and whatever we do or think we should do or what most people do. We are souls. We are an eternal, infinite energy, a consciousness that has been literally created from the void. There was a time that your self in this body, with this name, with this personality, did not exist in this way, shape, or form. And there will be a time, which is not linear, even if we look at it like this, that your body will not exist in this way, shape, or form. Your personality, your name, it will mean nothing. So what are we doing here? My first question to you is, and you can journal this, and I would love for you to type it in the chat. What are you here to reclaim in your leadership? Whether that here is today through this experience or in your life, what are you here to claim or reclaim in your leadership? Don't filter your thoughts. Just go with what comes up, even if it doesn't make sense right now, even if you don't know why you're writing down what you're writing or what's coming up is coming up. Just let it move through you without judgment. The judgment is always the conditioning. And the work we're here to do, or at least I'm here to do, and I invite you on this lifelong journey with me, is to move from social self, conditioned self, little human self, into living from that soul self. And whether you're here to lead yourself more in your life, because we can't lead others if we're not leading ourselves, and leadership is not control. Let's get that clear right out of the gate. Leadership has nothing to do with control, and those two can be very muddled, especially as we look out into the world and go, oh gosh, well, maybe I don't want to lead. Maybe I don't want to lead myself or others, because look at what happens to leaders, or leaders are corrupt, or people project or tear people down or counsel them. And then we get scared and we shrink back in, think, well, I'm not going to be visible. I'm not going to say the thing. I'm not actually even going to allow myself to be attuned to my own mission. I'll distract myself with blame, with resentment, with ruminating over stories, with telling myself I'm not good enough or I don't know enough, or maybe later. All of the funky things that we can do to keep ourselves separate. Okay, so please type in the chat. What are you here to reclaim in your leadership? Reduce fear, even though often I do not know what the fear is or where it is coming from, except some from past shit. Yeah. I mean, unless we're literally face to face with a grizzly bear or a tiger or an oncoming vehicle, the fear that we talk about in our conversation, and the fear that even though it's not at all real, if I say, give me a cup of fear, can someone bring you a cup of fear? Bring me a cup of fear. I'll pay you $1 million. And yet, we can all relate to being held back from that feeling, that story, the sensation of fear, each in our own way. What else? Unwavering faith, self-confidence, 100% belief in self. Beautiful. And another perspective, because that's what I offer often, because I love this unwavering faith. It's like, and to really look into what that means and how that plays out. 100% belief in self. That's where I would question. I don't know. Will we ever have 100% belief in ourselves? I, I haven't, and I don't know humans that do. And I wonder if the faith piece is deeper, if that trumps everything. We don't need to have 100% belief in ourselves if we have faith, if we have belief that we are not just alone, that we are not just an individual self, but we are part of a greater energy. And I think those two, the unwavering faith and that belief in self, are a beautiful marriage. But 100%, I mean, go for it. Let me know. Get back to me. Tell me if that happens. And it's okay if it doesn't. Again, we're not looking for perfection. Another myth around leadership, not about control, and it's not about being perfect, whatever perfect is. Because my idea of self-perfection, those like little inner gremlins, might not be yours. And I could spend my whole life trying to get it right. And the irony is that might be the thing that it doesn't land with you. You don't want me to get that right, and vice versa. because our authenticity and who we actually are as humans, we can be in absolute leadership and still be completely open, still be receptive, still be vulnerable, not in a I haven't worked through my shit and I'm going to bleed it all over social media or all over the room type space, but in I can hold both. I can hold myself in both joy and grief simultaneously. I can hold myself and walk myself and lead myself through my life when there is duality, because there's always going to be duality. Yes, have you noticed that? And thank goodness that we can be in grief and still experience laughter and joy, that we can be in the most fruitful time of our life and still have that sting of scarcity. It's okay. It's very human. And when we stop trying to like hold back the dam of these fearful things or wavering faith or the things that we think, if only I overcame that, then I could lead, then I could speak with my authentic voice, then I could embody greater leadership of self, of others, then I could be the healer I actually wanted to come here to be. That's the game. That's the fallacy. That's the inner gremlins. That just came to me this morning, and I think I'm going to roll with it. The inner gremlins, the little voices, the stories. Not true. Not true. Okay, what else? Wake up and live with vitality to bring my soul's calling overflowing to life. I love it. So then that gets to be where you orient from. Are you setting up your days to live with vitality? And what kind of support do you need to do that physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, psychically? And then reverse engineer. It's brilliant. A big, bold, well-lived life, and to share how it's possible for us all to affect life in a most magical way. Okay, yeah, I love it. And to live that life, we have to lean into it. We have to do the things that we want or expect or hope to inspire others to do, not conceptually. You see this all over the place, right? What is that saying? You only live once, like YOLO. And someone's like standing in top of a waterfall or like about to skydive or something. It's like, yes, great, you did that peak moment thing, but what does that actually mean? And I'm asking each of us these questions, right? To go inside of you. What does your big, bold life mean to you? That could mean sitting in front of a fireplace reading your favorite novel. Yes, that can be a big, bold life because the courage it takes to let yourself rest, self-care, prioritize yourself, do something you actually just want to do can be tremendously courageous. So we get to define these things for ourselves and to affect life in a most magical way. Then you have to recognize yourself. You are the magic. You don't have to do anything magical. You are the magic. Get the willpower to get out there for people. Well, I love this because when we take the focus off ourselves, and I think this is one of the main things that helps me in my life, is to take the focus off ourselves. When I think about myself and go, oh, I don't want to say the thing, or I don't want to do the thing, I don't want to get on social media, like I'm gonna have to brush my hair, blah, blah, blah. If I just set all of my own like human insecurities aside and for a moment go, what if I help one person? What if me just being me inspires one person or millions of people? It's like getting out of our own neuroses, not because other people need our help, but because that's how life works. This is a community, a global community inside of this room, a community of incredible humans that want to make a difference. Yes, but show of hands, do you want to make a positive impact in your world? Right? We have the area of influence, the area of concern. We're all concerned about the world, of course, but truly our area of influence is quite small, really. And so within our area of influence, first of all, can we step into 100% of that? And to be a conductor of prana, not a controller, but to be one step ahead of saying, okay, in order for this conversation, this room, this space to be elevated, I have to show up as clear as possible, not perfect, but willing, open-hearted to make the difference. And I love this. We are all affecting one another, whether we understand that or not. You not doing the thing you came on the planet to do is affecting the whole tilt of the earth. The whole axis is skewy. If you're not aligned with your soul, higher self, whatever you want to call it, inner being, true nature, and yet we wake up every day, pour the coffee, and go, oh, not today. Not today. Today's not the day to really be myself. Today's not really the day to be open, to be vulnerable. Not today, next year, later. And saying I'm not ready is like saying to the universe, I'm not available. You are ready. Your life has prepared you for this moment. And if you stop pretending you're not powerful, if you stop letting your ego self run your life, then you will begin to experience or continue to. I know you're all very experienced practitioners, but you will continue to elevate and to evolve. Okay, let myself be who I am as I am. I'm not broken. There's nothing to fix. I'm here to hold space, but I'm not here for someone's comfort. I don't need to make myself small to be present, to show up, lead from my essence. No more pretending to be someone I'm not. I am built how I am built, and it's okay. Yes, it is more than okay. You're not broken. I'm not broken. Nobody's broken. And can you see how us being ourselves is the medicine? Not when we step into teacher mode or healer mode, but actually being ourself. And we confuse that. We think, oh, well, when I can stand up and have a perfect, eloquent sentence or elevator speech, then I'm ready. We're ready when we want to be ready. When we say, I'm willing. I'm willing to set it down. I'm willing to set it down. So I've been contemplating this a lot recently, this idea of an antiquated sense of what leadership is. Performative, authority, right? Be the authority. I'm sure, have you heard this? Be the authority in your industry. Okay, well, authority over who? Like authoritarian? I want to be the authority. I want to work with humans that are sovereign, that are not helpless, that I'm not the savior to. There's a resonance, yes, of course. And the women that I work with, the men that I work with, the humans that I get to walk arm in arm with are no longer in that place of feeling like, please save me. Just tell me what to do. And I can tell you from personal experience that I've spent, like, honestly, probably most of my life in that place in certain parts of me. If you're familiar with parts work, you realize, right? There's like all these different parts. And one of the parts that I've had that has really come into the forefront through my entrepreneurial journey was, and it's embarrassing to admit, but it's true. When I look back and track the thread, I did want someone to tell me what to do and how to do it to get it right. I did because I thought it would be easier. Here's someone that I perceive has the thing or the way or the method. And I've invested tens of thousands of dollars into other people's formulas. And you know what I found? They didn't work for me until I woke up to realizing, oh, I need to align, I need allegiance with a coach, a mentor, someone who can help me extract the essence of me and stand in greater leadership inside myself. And I'll tell you, that was a long, windy road to get here, and it's still a work in progress because I thought other people had the answer. And it's not that we can't glean information or ideas or be inspired by other people, not at all. But if we are not focused on the energetics of self, the inner work, and we think someone, it's like shiny object syndrome. And there's a lot of people that will tell you, just follow this, just do what I did. Has anyone else had this experience? I'm curious, just by show of hands. Yeah, a few of you had that experience of like someone saying, if you just do this thing, then you're going to X, Y, and Z, make millions of dollars, have thousands of followers, blah, 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 blah. I'm not blaming those people. I'm actually calling us into greater self-responsibility to look inwards of like where were those decisions coming from a lack of inner power? And was I really secretly hoping someone would just fix it for me? Maybe I even blamed that person. Maybe I even felt resentment at the end of it all when, oh, what? Well, I don't have what you have. I thought I was going to be over here, but I'm still me, which is great. Thank God you're still you because then you get to be you. Thank God you are you. Nobody else can be you. No one else has the medicine that you have. And when we really get that and step out of what will people think of me and into I'm here to serve, it alchemizes, it changes. So the next question for you to journal, you can again write this in the chat if you feel so called. I'd love to hear your responses. Where are you focused more on being liked instead of authentic? Is that in your personal relationship? Is that online? Is that with your clients, with your kids, with your dog? Where, where is that happening? Where is that happening? So, okay, willing to be vulnerable and to show it, but helping people help themselves. That has diminished almost 100% for me. I am not yet sure where I am with it, though often I am very sure. Yeah, beautiful. When we understand that we take 100% responsibility and that others are also resourced. We don't need to prove. So here are the big signs that we're not in leadership. If you notice yourself moving into any of these frequencies, proving. I got to prove how much I know. I got to prove I'm the authority or the expert. I have to prove, and it can be so subtle. It can be so subtle. Blame. Blame. We can't be in leadership and in blame or resentment at the same time. So if we've got any of those gremlins, past, present, or even projected future gremlins of blame or resentment, it's going to be very difficult. Our frequency will be, it'll be a little bit skewy. And this all goes under the umbrella of victimization. Leadership and victimization don't coexist very well. This is where the inner work around looking at, why don't I actually speak my truth? Why do I sugarcoat it? Why do I soften it? Why do I hide? Why do I not want to say what's true? I'm afraid I'll hurt someone's feelings. I'm afraid I'll be rejected. I'm afraid I will no longer belong. I'm afraid someone will misunderstand me. What is it? And it's okay, like really to let yourself see what you might shove back down or project onto another. And also any sense of feeling separate. This can be the ego, whether the ego is superior or inferior. I feel better than, oh, let me help you. Or less than. Oh, I'm not like that person. Oh, they've achieved so much. Oh, they've done so much. Both of those ego places are very detrimental and will take us outside of our own self-led life because we will be either looking for that savior or being in that victimized place, which are both the same thing. Okay. I don't always tell clients what they need to hear. I want to be more upfront. I love this. Yeah, and I get it. It can be difficult. I find it most difficult having conversations with people before we work together. Usually, when I'm in a relationship with a client, that agreement is that that's why they hire me, so that I can be that mirror. When I'm in the conversation prior to formally working with someone, so this is still my edge, is to really reflect that mirror clearly because I can see very clearly what's going on. And my ego mind doesn't want to hurt someone. But can you even hear in that my idea that my words are going to hurt them is already putting me in a place of I'm more powerful than them, or they could be hurt by what I say. So I'm already taking away their agency, their power through projection. Does that make sense? So these things get subtle, but it's really important to look at, especially because we're all in the world to help, to heal, to support. And that's where when I hear people and their very human excuses that come and they're like, I want to do this with you, I want to work with you. And then it gets squirmy at one point. Things start to go a little sideways when there's the excuse of, oh, well, I'm not ready. Maybe in 3 months or 6 months. What are you waiting for? Or I can't afford it, or I don't have the time. Those are all valid human excuses, but they all lack leadership. They all lack self-leadership, and they all lack stepping into greater leadership. And I think it's terrifying for us to really take responsibility for our life. Well, what if it doesn't work? Well, let's have that conversation. That's way more interesting than I'm not ready. Or, well, I've tried all these things before and it never worked out for me. Okay, let's look at that. Do you see how the level of consciousness and conversation really shifts there? What I've discovered is I'm not here to convince anyone of anything anymore. I used to feel like I had to because I'm like, but look, I've been where you've been. I could help you. I can see it. Oh my God. I just want to come on. And then they wither back and go back into their life and then go chase the shiny object or whatever it is. So the filters that dilute power, you can rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. One being, no, I never filter myself this way, or 10 is like, oh yeah, I'm in that pretty deep. So the first filter is the safety filter. So like if I'm fully seen, something bad happens, if I uh, am more upfront with my clients, whatever your example is, but that safety filter, 1 to 10. And then we have the approval filter. If they don't like it, I must have done it wrong. They don't like me. Oh, therefore, maybe I'm not good enough. So, where is the approval filter, that sense of seeking validation? Oh, well, no one liked my post. Oh, well, maybe I'm just not going to put anything on social media ever again because clearly nobody cares. And then we go back into our child parts and our tantrum of like, nobody likes me. I'm not popular. Nobody's ever going to blah, 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 blah. And we're back in our story. We're back in our victimization, our blame, our resentment. Okay. Fear of being misunderstood. That is changing, but still they're hiding sometimes. I have that too. I feel like that's one of the biggest fears for me is feeling like I'm going to be misunderstood and not able to defend, justify, explain all trauma responses. Yes. I love Byron Katie. She says, defense is the first act of war. The minute we need to defend ourselves, we're already at war. We're already under attack. And so we're right out, again, we're out of ourself. We're out of our center. Only you know your intention. Only you know who you are. And only you are able to stand with both feet on the earth, to connect to Mother Earth, to let her fully support you, and then to feel your crown chakra open up to the cosmos. And when you are centered in this pillar, it's that Shushumna channel, nothing can touch you. When you're all distorted energetically, all the chakras out of alignment, trying to grab, pull energy vertically from other people, validation, recognition. Tell me I'm good enough, and then I'll do the thing, and then I'll have the courage. Or we project our power onto circumstance. When I have the money, then I'll do the thing. When I have the time, then I'll do it. All of these things in life every day is passing us by. Did you realize that? Today is one less day we have on the planet. Not one more day, one less. Okay, what else is here? Yes, but why do we or I think I can help or heal unless we are asked? I don't like that difference between helping and interfering. I think that's the question. Am I interfering? Am I interfering? Where am I asked for opinion? Where is that invitation being? And where am I interfering because I'm projecting lack, helplessness, inferiority onto somebody else? Or our own unresolved, I haven't cleaned up my own stuff around that. So here it's easier for me to help you or tell you what to do than actually look inwards. I have learned some hard lessons through interfering, which I had no clue of at the time. In that space, I was also not being me, went against myself, even though my being was warning me in different ways. Isn't it great how life will give us every opportunity to learn everything we need? It's a brilliant system, really, even though it's very uncomfortable at times, even though it's very uncomfortable, but it is a brilliant system. Okay, in your journal, this is just rapid fire. Don't overthink it. Just the first things that come out of your head onto the page. Number one, whatever context, however this arises for you is perfect. Number one, the thing I want to say is. The thing I want to say is. The thing I want to say is. Just short, first thing that comes. Number two, I usually tone it down by. I usually tone it down by. Number three, because I'm afraid that. Because I'm afraid that. Because I'm afraid that. And I can guarantee whatever you've written down is not unique. That it is not unique. And feel free to share any of those answers to those questions in the chat, especially number three. I'm afraid that. What are you actually afraid of? When we're living out of sync with our soul, it means that we're living in programming. We're living someone else's life. And that's why it never feels good. And that's why we call things like midlife crises, because we get to an age and a stage that we recognize, wait a second, I've done all the things that I've been sold that I'm supposed to do to be happy, to be joyful, to be successful, to be fulfilled. And then we get there and we've even done maybe some or all of those things. And we go, wait a second, this sucks. And we can celebrate that day or that time or that season of your life when that happens, because that is the awakening where we go, oh, you know, maybe that's why life gave us menopause. I don't know. To really be like, wake up, ladies. Ladies, hello, wake up. The time is now. It's inbuilt where we have to confront ourselves, where we have to confront, where have I been living out of alignment? Not as punishment, not as self-judgment, but as a path of actualization and a path of liberation. So, what we're talking about really living a self-led life and stepping into greater leadership is personal mastery, not perfection, and purpose-driven action. Making decisions. Anyone here have a hard time making decisions? I typically do for very small things. Some people have it the opposite, it's like for really big things. What I've explored around decisiveness is that if we don't know who we are, if we don't know what our values are, if we don't know what our standards are, or what we want, then it will be very hard to make a decision. And when we don't make decision, I had a mentor once who would say, indecision is hell. Indecision is hell. And I tested that, and I'd say she was pretty accurate, because have you ever sat and ruminated over something for hours, days, weeks, months, maybe years? I literally spent years deciding to move from Vancouver. I think it was over a decade from when I first had that idea and like, yeah, I want to move here. A decade of my life it took me to decide. And we go, oh, well, divine timing, maybe. Or maybe I just couldn't make a bloody decision because I was afraid of the unknown. I was afraid of what I didn't know. And I didn't have the sovereignty or the self agency to know that I'm going to be okay, that I can't make a mistake. And so many of us have that impulse, that desire, and then we shove it back down because it's not practical and it's not logical. So what? At what point did we make logic and practicality the hierarchy, the God? Well, we know where, right? That's called socialization. That's called school. Sit in a little metal desk for 8 hours a day and listen to some authority at the front of the room. Well, the authority at the front of my room smoked cigarettes and went drinking on her lunch break. That was my grade 7 teacher. And this is the woman. I mean, I had many different teachers. That one just kind of came through right now. This is the authority. This is the woman who says, no, you can't go to the bathroom. That wasn't good. Or I'm going to ignore your hand because it's up all the time. Whatever it is. And so we give away our power. We leak it out. We're taught all over the place how not to be trusting of ourselves. And so we don't trust ourselves. It's a patriarchal society. It's the old white man in a suit at the front of the room society. And so, as women, as healers, as solopreneurs, as heart-centered humans, we need a voice now more than ever. Or we have a voice, we need to utilize it. We don't have time to waste. This isn't pressure, it's just reality. The people that are conscious on this planet, wake up. Stop holding back your truth, your being, your gifts. For what? So what? You do something, someone doesn't like it, or worse, nobody responds. This is the capacity we need to grow. And this is part of leadership, is growing our capacity to be able to hold more. not more stress. That's the misinterpretation of like, oh, well, if I really dream big and if I really move into actions to create a dream and follow that dream, it's going to mean, oh, I have less spare time or I have less time for myself or my self-care or my family or to walk in the woods or do the things that I really want to do. Those are lies. We tell ourselves all the lies as to why we can't and why we shouldn't. And I know the mind can be very convincing and very real. Okay, let me see here what I've missed in the chat. I'm afraid I will start an argument. I tone it down by saying it does not matter. Aha. Number one, I need or I want. Yeah, saying it doesn't matter. Oh, my needs don't matter. I don't matter. My thoughts don't matter. My voice doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. Oh, never mind. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I don't want to ruffle feathers. I don't want to rock the boat. Oh God, conflict, no way. I'm out of here. And so we shrink instead of expand, and then we do not create the capacity to hold more sensation, to hold more sensation in the nervous system. That's really all it is. I had a friend say to me once, because I was historically like conflict adverse. She's like, it's just communication. But it's not, is it? It's communication with the tone. It's communication with perceived agenda. It's communication with going, oh my God, someone doesn't like what I did or said. And the minute we think or haven't cleaned up behind the scenes, our inner child that says, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. If someone thinks there's something wrong with me, or says I'm wrong, well, then I must be wrong. That just means we haven't really looked in depth at those parts of ourself. And there's an invitation for more love. Okay, we make it up. I won't find true love or partnership. Uh-huh. Yeah, and what's the worst thing about that? What's the worst thing about not finding true love or partnership? Fear of not approval or others are better. Uh-huh. And who decides if others are better? Who decides that? Only a mind distorted, based in self-judgment, based in essentially disconnection from source, is going to believe in better and worse than. And that's all of us. We've all been taught that. We've all been taught to judge, and that somehow that keeps us safe. And we do it primarily with self. Well, if I judge myself, that will keep me safe. If I think, oh, well, I'm not ready for that, then I'll stay safe. Then I'll stay out of harm's way, out of being misunderstood, out of someone saying something that feels a little pokey. Fear of being blamed. Uh-huh. I don't need to fit what you think I should be, or masking, holding back my flame, which is a lot of work. I will create emotional obligations. Such great awareness. Holding back my flame, that really lands for me, that term. And that's really what we're doing, isn't it? Holding back our light. How rude. How rude. It really is like giving the middle finger to the divine. The divine is like, but you're this incredible, wondrous being with all of these gifts and experiences, and then you're going to withhold that? Huh. You're going to hold that because you're so full of self-deprecation? That's not me, meaning that's not source. Source isn't blaming you, judging you. And so really the bigger question is how, where, and why do we disconnect from creator? And what's the pathway for you to remember? Really, what we're just talking about is remembering who you are and who you came here to be. It's not adding anything on. You came fully intact with everything you need to fulfill your Dharma. Doesn't mean we don't get skills. It doesn't mean we don't practice. But your essential self is complete upon arrival. Imagine. Imagine if you believe that. And then we have to extend that out and also see that in others, not just us, everybody. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has their own unique medicine. Yes, we arrive knowing everything. So we're remembering, and it's hard to remember when there's this crud, which is just another word for coding, programming, conditioning. So at the very least, stop being mean to yourself in your own mind. And that can be lifetimes of work. I get it. If we are in constant self-judgment, we will judge others. If we are in constant self-deprecation, we will blame others. If we feel like we don't have agency, we will carry that victim frequency and then find the evidence for why it can't work for us. Does that resonate? So when it comes to our vocation, when it comes to our work, to our business, I would say it's, this is just how I feel it, like 90% energetics, 10% strategy. The strategy is important, form is important, but if it's coming from misalignment, it will never bear fruit. If it's coming from misalignment, you can have the strategy that the person beside you is using and killing it with. And you're like, why isn't this working for me? Because it's coming from misalignment. And when we're executing a brand or a life, it can be a partnership, it can be anything that is out of alignment, that will lead to burnout, depression, frustration, adrenal fatigue. It's when we live out of obligation instead of ownership, and we're lacking coherence. This is an energetic universe, yes, we know that, but we don't live as though we know that. We know it and then we forget it. We're like, yeah, but no, but we forget it so easily. So, my next question for you, what are you doing that isn't actually working, but you're scared to stop? What are you doing that isn't really working for you? It could be something, practical. It might be a way of being, but you're scared to stop doing it because you don't know how it would be without. Where are you being the pleaser, the good girl, the perfectionist, living by other people's expectations or standards and not your own? Essentially, where are you betraying yourself? Where are you not being fully honest with yourself? And I'd love to hear in the chat if you're open to sharing. To not react, but instead respond, and attempting to protect myself from being a sponge for others' emotions, thoughts, and ideas. Yeah, beautiful. Sometimes silence can be really helpful for that, and stillness, and like really going into a meditative space. The world is so loud, maybe even now more than ever because of technology and social media. We're so inundated. And if we don't have time to even tune in to self, we are just in constant reaction. One of the first things that I do in the morning is pick up my phone. I do. And that sets me up for reaction, not conscious creation. And then I will go back into that space. But it's a habit. I'm I'm still in. Uh, Forgetting, not embracing my essence, and inconsistent, not aligned 10% strategy. Yeah. That 10% can be so potent. It doesn't have to be, and I would encourage you that it isn't about hustle or proving, but more precise, precision. That's the mastery is precision. It's not more doing. It's alignment. Alignment, alignment, alignment. Alignment to self, alignment to self. The misaligned comes when we think, oh my God, I have to prove, I have to show, I have to demonstrate, I have to do what other people are doing, I have, blah, 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 which is a very different energy from I get to do this. I get to send an email to a client. I get to have a discovery call. I get to post on social media. I get to make a video. I get to share my voice. I get to speak. Yes, precision, precision, being precise, and that play with that preciseness in all areas, precision in thoughts. Am I letting like loopy goopy negative Nelly run the show in here? Or am I going to be more precise, more conscious, precise with words, precise with where we place our time, attention, and energy? We have so much time in a day when we know what we value, we're aligned with our standards. And what I see pretty consistent with humans is that people will always make time or find the energy or the money for things that they really, really want, that are really important to them, right? You're at home, it's Friday night, in your sweats, so tired, I'm exhausted, oh my God. And then the guy calls out of the blue, asking if you want to go out, hot date. All of a sudden, you have all the energy in the world. Oh my God, what? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Got energy. I'm going, jumping in the shower. Here we go. What happened? We make space and time for that which is important to us. So getting really clear about what is important to you and are you living that, I feel is an invaluable investment of your time. Because otherwise the pinball binging around can thieve away your life force, your vitality, your finances, your joy. And it doesn't mean that we have to pick one thing and never stray. It means I'm walking in this direction with clarity and I'm in it. I'm committed. I'm committed to living a life that I love. I'm committed to creating a world that I wake up into and love every single day. Committed to only doing the things that bring great joy to me. I'm committed to aligning with clients who really have that hunger in their heart, that are here to do something incredible on the planet, big or small, it doesn't matter, but that they get that there's a preciousness about this life and about their very presence on it. But you get to decide that, right? You get to decide because you are the creator, you're co-creating this. What do you want? And most people, when I ask that question, they don't know. Well, let me go think about it. You have to think about it? You haven't already thought about it? I'm poking fun a little bit here, but it's true. If you don't know what you want, if you don't know where you're going, you'll be like tumbleweed in the wind, floating around. Some great things will just come into your life, perhaps. Some not great things will just come into your life, perhaps. Like it'll just happen. But to live intentionally, again, very different from control. Ego wants to be in control. The soul has a pulse. The soul has a soul signature, a tune, a tone, a song, a vibration. And it's that vibration that it's paramount that we listen to and live from. It's not logical, it's not linear. It's not, oh, well, down the line, then I'll claim it. Then I'll claim my power. Then I'll claim my purpose. Uh-uh. When the knock on the door comes from life, are you ready? And not are you ready? Are you already it? You're already in the full swing of it. You're living it already. And then life goes, oh, yeah, you're living it already. Here's the energy. Here's the impetus. Here's the resources. Because you're in the flow, and life will always say yes to what we say yes to. But we often wait, right? We wait for the outer evidence. And then we say, oh, well, once the outer evidence comes, then I'll do my purpose. Then I'll live my purpose. And that's the exact opposite of how it works. And that's why so many people are paralyzed. That's why so many people are just sitting back waiting and being like, well, see, it's not for me. But you haven't taken a step. The universe can't meet you because it doesn't know where to meet you. It's like calling your friend and saying, let's meet for coffee, and then hanging up. Well, where? Like, could be anywhere in the city. There's a million different coffee shops. What? We need more energy focused. We need a meeting point, which is the vibration of who you're being every day. So I'm curious, and please type in the chat, what has landed for you from today? What has stood out to you? Is there an idea, a concept, a self-realization, something you've discovered, something that has lit up inside of you? What is it? Where are you numbing your calling? Do you feel it in your body? Do you feel there's something more? Is it getting woken up? Or are you in full, you're already in it. You're like, yeah, I'm in it. I'm on it. Here I go. This is perfect. This is exciting. This is yes. Vibration of soul. Yeah, I love that. It literally is a soul vibration. It literally is. There's a certain frequency. When you're out of sync with it, when there's no coherence with self, there's definitely no coherence with source because that's a harmonization. And then others, it's hard for that coherence to be there. So start with self, releasing the approval filter, improving myself. I love it. So good. Finding it in silence. Yes, beautiful. Aligning with clients or leaders who see the importance and value of living on this planet and where I keep myself in the shadow. Yeah. Aligning with the people who are also in that same place, wanting the same things. This was a whole synchronicity. Yeah, right? This is a whole vibration because I listened to the knock on the door. It's almost easier not to. It's almost easier not to. I could be laying on the couch watching Netflix right now. But that's not satisfying to my soul. But it would be easier not to. And then it gets to a point where it's not easier not to, right? Where it's like, oh God, this is really uncomfortable. I can't ignore it anymore. It will be uncomfortable to be more visible, to say the thing, to hold your standards, to live from your values. But as you do that, the world will reorchestrate itself around you. That's the energetics. I see it time and time again. And it takes our yes, it takes our commitment to say yes, yes to ourselves, yes to our mission. Yes, I'm in it no matter what. I'm not going to wait for the evidence. I'm going to keep taking one step forward. And the beautiful thing about it is it's always for us. As we continue to take steps on the path, it will always support our own evolution. Our purpose is our evolution. Yes? It's our growth, it's our expansion. It's to remember who we actually are. Much, much to be gained in discomfort. Yes, so much. And yet we resist it. Instead of like, I'm here for it, let's go. And I know that I'm supported because I'm listening not to the conditioned self, but to that quieter, often for me anyway, that quieter pulse, that quieter rhythm that's just like the hum of the refrigerator in the background. It won't stop. My soul's not going to stop. No matter how many lifetimes, right? It's like, okay, you can take more time with it, but you're going to find yourself back here again until you say yes, until you say yes, until you say yes. So saying yes to the truth of us is an act of generosity, it's an act of courage, and that is soul-led leadership. Thank you so much for being here. I did mention in my email that I would share with you an opportunity. So if you want to hear more about a brand new program that I've created, then stick around. I would love to share it with you. Uh, I'm going to share it with you on the screen here. I haven't talked about this yet anywhere else. You guys are the first ones to see it and to learn about it. And as you know, or if you do know me, I'm always listening to what's coming through in the moment. My work has changed over the years from yoga teacher, trainer, clinical Ayurvedic specialist, energy healer. Now I really work with incredible souls to support them in aligning to their truth so that they can be the brilliant light that they came here to be. And so this is what has come through most recently. It's a soul-led leadership program. It's a smaller program. My larger 3 and 6 month mentorships are the deepest dives that I do. But this is really specifically looking at embodying your voice, leading with your vision, your inner vision, and being fully visible. These aspects of leadership are crucial. I'll send you this link, but I'm going to highlight here the essence of it, and then we can open up to questions either about the program or anything from today after this. Uh, we're going to meet for 5 weeks, and we've got 5 main themes that we're diving into together. The first one is reclaiming your voice, so that this becomes the signal that you send out in the world, whether that is through newsletters, whether that is through speaking with your clients, whether that is uh, through your social media. But the voice that is most you, not the way you think you're supposed to speak to show up to be that authority or that expert or that professional. Ugh, but actually you. The second module is looking at clarifying your message so that you can begin to or continue to deepen the embodiment of your message so that it lands for people, so that you are that walking, living, embodied self, that there's no incoherence there. It's really a good or true being so that people feel it when you think it, when you speak it, it lands for people. That you're not just trying to like, oh, well, I don't know. Well, I guess it's that muddy energy. The third module is about refining your brand. So it reflects who you are now, not who you were 2 years ago or even 2 weeks ago. But who are you? What are you really intending to create in your life and in the world? The next module is about creating content from the real, from the raw, from source, opposed to, oh my God, I got to figure out what to say. No, you don't. So I'll teach you how I work with this in my own life and my own business. And then leading in visibility. This can be self-led. Doesn't matter what kind of leadership you have in your community, in your company. And the essence of this is the energetics. This is visibility as devotion. This is leadership as embodiment and brand as a transmission, not as something, pretty and disconnected from you that you just try to put out into the world, but that there's an integration and alignment, and that that comes through and is felt, that it's felt energetically. And so for this 5 week program, I'll give you the nitty gritty, the details here. There's two tiers I created, partly so that you could come in at either price point and still receive value. The rose gold tier and then the platinum tier is for people who are like, okay, I really want to go for it and receive greater support in my life. So the rose gold tier will meet for our 5 weekly calls. You'll get the replays from all the sessions. So even if you can't make it live, and then you're going to get to witness two business and brand audits. I'm going to literally work with one of the participants, excuse me, and we're going to go deep into looking at what's working and what's not working in the business, in the brand, in your leadership. And that can be voice, that can be visibility, that will definitely be looking at the deeper behind the scenes, meaning the energetics of belief systems, of frequency, where you might be, it might even just be a little bit off. Sometimes we're not that far, and that can be very frustrating. It's like, gosh, but I feel like I'm so close to it, but I can't, it's not landing, something's not clicking, something's not flowing. And then the platinum tier is everything in the rose gold, and then two private 60-minute sessions with me, 2 days a week for a Telegram, meaning unlimited coaching and support. And then you will get one of those one-on-one business, brand, and leadership audits that will be shared in the group. And I told you that if you show up live here today, that I want to just really celebrate and applaud decisiveness and that inner knowing. If you know that this is your next step, and if you register today, then your bonus is the platinum tier. I'm going to take $700 off of that. And so you can join for $2,633. And also, if you register today, there's going to be a bonus Q&A call, laser coaching with me, that starts the week before. So that starts next week. So today, and this is really on it, like honestly, it's because I'm sick and tired of people like, well, let me just think about it. You know what is for you. You know what is for you. So if it is a yes, then the decisiveness is really part of the healing process and part of the self-honoring process. So if that's for you, you want to join me today, you're going to receive those bonuses. The platinum tier has the $700 discount. And what I'll do, I just realized I don't have with me right now the discount link. So what I'll do is I'm going to send it in the replay. I'll send it in the replay email for you. So if that is something that you want to do, but you need to register today. You need to register today. So feel into your heart. If you already know is my sense of it, that it's not something that you have to go away and like think about. But if you do have questions, now is a great time. You can type them in the chat or you can ask, you can unmute yourself. And whether that's questions from our conversation today, or for the Soul-Led Leadership 5 week program, then ask me. I'm here. I'm so happy to stay on a little bit longer and talk to you. I love talking to you. I know it might not seem like that because I talked a lot, but I actually do. Uh, the times of day, they are Thursdays at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. Thursdays at 7:30 a.m. Pacific, and there is 1 week that we have an integration week, but all of that is on the link here. Let me, oh, give me 1 second, and I will put this link inside of the chat. So if you want to open it right now, you can look at that. If you have questions directly about it, we can dive into it. And as if you know me, if you've worked with me before, it's personal. I get to know you. And particularly in this, we're going to really be looking at what you're conveying in your business, in your leadership, in your branding? Where is it landing? Where is it not? What is your strategy? What is your business ecosystem? What are you creating? uh, and what's not translating, so to speak? Yes, the 2 business audits are in addition to the 5 sessions. That's correct. And then when you sign up today, you'll also get the bonus session, which is Q&A, laser coaching with me. And that will be in a group. So this is a small boutique program. It's not like you're one of 50 people. You get my eyes on you, on the background, on the energetics of where are things flowing, where are they not, and we'll look deeply at that. So are there any other questions about today's topic or about the program? You're so welcome. It's such a joy. It's such a joy to be unpacking this topic because I firmly believe that the big-hearted people, we need to get a bit louder around here. And we can't keep having like lunatics on this planet leading or the perception of leading. There's no leadership happening, but we really need to be in that area of influence inside of our families, inside of our communities, inside of ourself. It's essential. And we are here on this planet at this time for a reason. No mistake. No mistake of that. All right. If there's no further questions, then I'll just thank you so much. It was so lovely to see you all here. And I'll send out the email ASAP. And if this is for you, then sign up today and I'll be in touch. You're so welcome. All right. Bye. Bye, everyone.